I have to admit, in all my travels across Michigan so far, Monroe was my biggest surprise. Now, I only live about an hour and a half from Monroe, and I've always thought it was just a little industrial town on Lake Erie with some factories and a couple of strip malls. Man, was I wrong. Monroe is a beautiful city that's rich in both history and classic architecture. Monroe is also a modern city with great new places to eat, stay, and explore downtown. There's no shortage of creativity, determination, or enthusiasm with the people of Monroe. Monroe is located 45 minutes south of Detroit in the southeastern corner of Michigan. And one of its most outspoken supporters is John Patterson. John heads up the Monroe County Tourism Bureau, and my conversation with him was enlightening to say the least.
10 minutes from Toledo, approximately, without construction, 20 minutes from Detroit.
Right.
Metro Airport is close. Ann Arbor is very close. So we're kind of the hub.
Yeah, it's the part of the state that I really didn't know. Even though I live north of Detroit, I really knew very little about the downriver area. And you have these preconceived images and notions, but this is, I could live here, I could have an office here. I mean, it's a great atmosphere here. So, give me a sense, if you can, of the history of Monroe, because I understand it's got a really rich history. It's just that I've never been here before, so.
Founded by a Frenchman named Francois Navarre. There's evidence of our French heritage everywhere in the names of the churches and the streets. And Monroe was built on the paper industry. At one time, the paper mills were the largest employer of the city, having upwards of 6,000 to 8,000 people working for them.
Right, I understand a very famous soldier is from this town.
Yeah, in fact, he's right here across the river, General George Armstrong Custer.
Now, just in case you didn't know, this was General George Custer's hometown, Monroe, Michigan. I don't know why, I've always felt this connection with George Custer. Yeah. Now, you said the bank is locally owned, the hospital is locally owned.
A newspaper 180 plus years old. Lazy Boy Incorporated, which is one of our brands here that a lot of folks know, 80 plus years old. The bank, over 100 years old. The hospital, locally owned. Yeah, it's very unique.
Local, local, local. Get it? Under the Radar Michigan is brought to you in part by the Michigan State Housing Development Authority,